Hello and welcome to another deadlift video. Today's program is of course deadlift, but what I am going to do is a series of deadlift videos where I'll be explaining some techniques that will definitely help improve your deadlift. I've learned these throughout my deadlift journey, which is a little over 3 years now, and what I want to do is share my experience, my learning experience with people out there. So for anyone who's just either starting to deadlift or has been deadlifting for a while but is struggling to either increase the weight or the amount of reps, or just in general struggling to reach whatever goal you've set for yourself. So I'd like to share that experience, and hopefully it motivates you and it improves your deadlift. It definitely improved my deadlift. All these techniques and strategies that I used, they definitely helped me improve my deadlift, and hopefully they help you. So as I said, this is going to be a series of videos because it's just too much to include in one video. But today I'll be focusing on positioning. When it comes to lifting heavy weights, one thing you should keep in mind is that the form needs to be correct. You compromise the form, one, you're not going to lift the amount of weight that you potentially could lift. Two, and most important point is that you risk injury, and that is what you don't want to do. The second thing you want to keep in mind is, so never force yourself. If you're not feeling it that day, go lighter and go for higher volume. So don't go crazy on the big weights, because we all want to lift heavy weight day in, day out, right? And with each session, we want to increase the weight by 20, 30, 50 kilograms, right? That's not going to happen. So I'm going to be honest with you, it didn't happen for me. I doubt anyone will tell you that will happen, but if anyone is telling you that by each session you're going to increase the weight by 20, 30, 50 kilograms, stay away from those videos. And there is no 5-minute, 10-minute video that's going to, or program that's going to improve your deadlift. You got to put the work in. Consistency is the key here. With that said, let's get started. Now I will be doing a part of the warm-up is done for me. So what I recommend, you always do at least 15 minutes of warm-up. Whatever that warm-up may be for you, but try to get some blood flowing through your legs and in general arms, back, because these are the muscles that will be used in the deadlift. So think of how wide or narrow should your legs be. Now again, everybody is different. You might need to go a little wider or just a little narrower, but in general, the starting position, good thing to remember, is shoulder width apart. So like this. Right, so I feel that when you position your legs shoulder width apart, that is when you get the most, at least that's when I get the most out of the deadlift. So because I'm very steady on my feet, and when it comes pushing through the ground with my feet as I'm lifting up, so I find it much easier that way. So that was the balance positioning, and next I'm going to talk about how far or how close should the bar be to your shins. Depending how far or how close the bar is to your shins, that's definitely going to have an impact on your form, and you might not, if let's say you're not positioned correct, then probably hamstrings would not get engaged enough, and you end up doing pretty much everything with your lower back, which is a mistake I made some time ago, and that's why I'm sharing this experience. So hopefully you guys out there then don't have to make the same mistakes I made. And keep watching, because I'm going to show you a cool trick how to load and unload the weight as the weights get heavy by just using one tiny equipment, which pretty much I believe everybody carries with. Okay, so now we are going to talk about how far or how close should the bar be to your shin. All right, so first find the right balance and then get into that steady position. Then bend down and keep your legs straight like this. Legs straight, and then position the bar about 5 centimeters or 2 inches away from your shins. And if you were to do that correct, then that weight would be right in the middle of your foot, and that's where it should be. Okay? And if that's where it is, then that means that the distance is correct, and that is where you can actually control the weight much better. So legs straight, and then make sure the bar doesn't move, and then bring your shins in until they touch the bar. And as they touch the bar, one good thing to notice is that your arm will align with your kneecap. They will be in straight line. So if your arm is back or forward, then you don't have the right position. You see, arm is forward here, back here. If you're back, that means that you're bending, you're going down way much more than you should. So in general, to position the bar 5 centimeters or a couple of inches away from your shins, and then once in position, then bring the shins in and lower your hips until arm and kneecap align. They're in straight line. And then as you lift up, keep the bar rubbing against your shins and all the way up your thighs as well. And then engage your back, lats. That's it. And as you are doing this for reps, it gets pretty tricky, so you need to be very, very mindful of that position. And the bar will definitely scratch your shins a little bit, but that's fine. That's part of lifting. Or you might want to get some protection or use long pants. If you decide to get some shin protections, try to get thin ones, because the thicker they are, then they add to that distance. So you don't want to have the bar away from your shins or thighs as you're lifting up, because right now the weight is not heavy, right? And you can get away with keeping the bar away from your shins and still lifting the weight. But as the weight gets heavy, then I'll also talk about in the next set that why keeping the bar next to your shin and thighs as you pull up is crucial. So one plate at a time. So this is 140 kilograms now, 308 pounds. And usually once I reach this weight, I do 2 to 3 reps with no hand straps, no belt, completely raw, and conventional weight and double over grip. And now again, so I position myself here, roughly 5 centimeters gap between the shin and the bar. Straighten legs and then bring them in and then go down, and then as soon as my kneecap aligns with my arm, that is my perfect position. And then grip, engage back in lats and lower back and glutes and hamstrings, and then just pull up. And that's it. So in general, you'd want to pull up as fast as possible. I am a slow deadlifter. As the weight gets heavier, yeah, my speed is not this fast. Now, don't go crazy out there thinking that, well, I'm going now, this is my first deadlift session ever, and I'm going to deadlift double the body weight with no hand straps, with no belts or anything, and just go and give that a try. And of course, if it happens that you don't get it, then you're going to be left with some, let's say, not so happy feelings, and it might even put you off from doing deadlifts altogether. I know a guy here at the gym who from time to time works out with me. He did the same thing. In his very first deadlift session, he got injured. He does work out, he's pretty strong, but he had never done deadlifts, and he wanted to give deadlifts a try. So he just went, grabbed the bar, tried to lift it, and then he got injured. And he hasn't touched deadlifts for the past 3 to 4 years. And he's quite scared of the deadlift. So whenever I tell him, let's go do a deadlift session, he's like, no, I'm not ready for that yet. So yes, so take it easy on the weight. Start with lightweight. It is never about the weight. I keep saying this in every video. It is never about the weight. It is never about the amount of weight I can lift or the amount of weight that somebody else lifts. You may see videos of people lifting crazy weights, and then you go, oh, I want to lift that as well. Probably the video you're looking at is probably 10 years in the making. So nobody just goes to the gym the very first day and hits a world record on any lifts, okay? Everything is a progression, progress, little by little, little steps, and that's how everybody gets to achieve their goals. And as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm not going to tell you that if you do my program for 5 minutes a week, then you're going to be the best deadlifter out there. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm going to share some of my experiences, techniques that I learned that have helped me improve my deadlift, and share them with you, and hopefully they help you improve your deadlift and motivate you to go to the gym and work out. So I don't have any magical 5-10 minute program that's going to make you the best deadlifter out there. Unfortunately, I don't have that. Now, I am going to add 2 more plates. There are 2 tricks I want to show you. I've shown this trick before, and probably you've seen it. So you basically just take a small plate, slide it underneath, and just lift this onto it, and you create a little bit of space. As simple as that. Another trick is, you might have a belt available, and belt is going to help us with that. So, all you do, just wrap the belt around here. Now we've got that space. So, we take the plate. So easy. And just roll it back. That's it. Okay, so let's do a double on this. So whatever weight then I put onto the bar from now on, then I start using the belt and the straps. Now the weight gets heavy. That is when position and form are crucial, because I noticed in quite a lot of my deadlift sessions where the weight was pulling me forward. As soon as I would start the deadlift a couple of centimeters off the ground, then the weight would pull me a little bit forward, and I was lucky to not get any injuries. But this is really important. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate 1 rep and let the weight pull me forward a little bit. And then I will do a rep the way it's supposed to be done, and then I'll talk about the differences, what caused that, and how it can be fixed. Easy fix though. So let me get strapped in. So here is me before. where the weight pulls me forward. So I would lift the weight about 10 centimeters off the ground, so like this. See? Much more difficult that way. So what was causing that is before, I'll just put my shins right next to the bar before I would go down, and then I would start strapping. And then basically this was the position. So hamstrings were not engaged at all. And then as I would lift up, the weight would roll kind of forward. And as it was rolling forward, it was also pulling me down. So, and to correct that, it takes an incredible amount of energy. So that's why it is important, the distance between the bar and your shins. Now, here is how that looks when you have positioned yourself correct. I will need to get some clips after this, but let's do this first. So again, I'm going to place the camera on the side. I'll get strapped in. Okay, so shins 5 centimeters away from the bar, and then bring the shins in until they touch the bar, and then engage back and lats. And as you lift, keep the bar rubbing against your shins. And now the weight should not pull me forward. So here we go. So now you can see the difference, and it feels way much easier that way. In the previous rep, I was struggling to get the weight up because the weight was pulling me forward, and I was just I wasn't thinking that, wait a second, I got to bring the weight in, rub it against my shins and my thighs as it gets up. I was just thinking, just lift it. So it doesn't really matter where the weight is, just lift it. And that's where you are using just your lower back for the lift. And that's when you risk injury. So that is all the tips I wanted to share with you today. Now I've got the deadlift session scheduled. If I were just to do one long video of, hey, here are all the deadlift techniques, form, program, sets, reps, frequency, how often you should do heavy sets and how often you should do light sets and so on, volume, then just one long video. Now, as I said earlier, I'm making a series of videos where I'll be sharing these tips and tricks and techniques and strategies, program I used. And there is also this important thing to keep in mind when it comes to deadlift, that deadlifting alone is not going to get you all the way. It might for some, but in general, I recommend other accessories, and I'll make a separate video for deadlift accessories that one should do, or at least what I did that helped me improve the deadlift. Just one rep, and I will use the belt. I'll talk in other videos at length about the experiments I do with the weight in each session. But today, I don't want to experiment anymore. I just want to get the work done. So I'm going to load 200 kilograms, and then I will do 2 sets of 5 repetitions. And then I will decrease the weight to 180 kilograms, and then I will do minimum of 6 reps on that, and that is the deadlift session. All right, now this is 200 kilograms, and soon starts the deadlift session. And the heavier the weight it gets, the less reps you're going to be able to do, but that will definitely build strength. Who doesn't want to be the strongest, right? So I suppose there is no limit to how strong one wants to be. But of course there are limitations in terms of how strong one can be. But yeah, but for me, I'm happy with the strength where it is at right now. And I don't mind even if my deadlift goes down a little bit as I lose the weight. I don't have any problem with that. I'm fine. Now it's time to start. All right, I want to see from the other camera, what did they look like? Because in general, I placed the camera on the side, and I want to see what did they look like from the side. Was I engaged in my back, hamstrings and glutes enough? Was my form correct? Yeah, they look good from the side. The weight was, of course, tending to pull me forward, and I could see that a few millimeters, but I was able to make sure that it doesn't pull me forward, because it's always that first rep is the most challenging one, and the last rep, of course. But they look good from the side, and I could pull 5 reps on 200 kilograms, which I haven't done in a month, which is good. So I got one more set to do, and then I'll drop the weight to 180, and then just do as many as possible on that one. Now, the second set, I would recommend try to follow a program that you find actually working for you. Everybody is different. There is no one program fits all. So stay away from programs that promise you the 5-10 minute workout that is going to improve your deadlift, or use this technique and you're just going to lift massive weight. There is no such thing. There are a lot of things that go into any exercise really, but since we're talking about deadlift, there are a lot of things that go into deadlifting than just one technique and 10 minutes of work. So keep that in mind. So let's do the second set. All right, 5 done. I don't know, the third and the fifth rep felt a little strange, and that is because as the weight reaches here, my thigh kind of gets stuck, and that's why you saw me hitch a little bit. 2 sets of 5 reps, pretty happy with that. Form felt good, and I felt good doing them, so I didn't really feel like I had to struggle. I could have actually done more, but I'm going to stick with the program. And so next I'm going to take the block plates off. These are 10 kilogram plates, and that leaves me with 180 kilograms, which is 395, 96 pounds. And I'll do a minimum of 6 reps on that. So as the weight gets to my thigh, and thighs are a little sweaty, and then the bar kind of get stuck there. Makes the lockout much more difficult. So there are a couple of solutions to that. One is use chalk, of course. Second is just use long pants, but quite tight. So, because if they are loose, they might, and depending on the material, they might also interfere. So quite tight pants, or at least down to your knees, or all the way down long pants. But anyway, so let me take the weight off, the 10 kilogram plates off for now. Here we go. That's 180 kilograms. I'll take another minute break here before I do the last one. And that's it for the deadlift session. And yes, if you enjoy content like this, please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell below. And I really appreciate your support. So lately the channel is growing. People are getting more engaged, asking questions, commenting. So please keep it up, and thank you for subscribing. All right, this is the last set. All right, so that's it for the deadlift session, and that's it for the tips I wanted to share with you today. So if you enjoy content like this, please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell below. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next workout session.